So today we're doing the review for the miniatures inside the Ironclad expansion of the Dark Soul board game. So this, I think I got one more after that. That is the Explorer expansion. But yeah, today we'll cover this one. So let's see what they gave us this time. There we go. Didn't cut it properly. No, buddy. There we go. So the two last expansion, one of the reasons why I'm doing them last compared to the sorry for the noise. Why I'm doing the Ironclad expansion now and the Explorer expansion, it's because compared to the main board game or the character expansion with the Invader expansion or Ghost expansion with the NPCs, you got a lot of miniatures in the others. And the Ironclad expansion and the Explorer expansion got nice little add-ons for miniatures, but they don't have a lot of variety, so it's not something I would say jump on it right away. And between the Ironclad expansion and the Explorer expansion, I think I prefer the Explorer expansion because you get some of the token are being transferred to a miniature, like the bonfire, like the tombstones. So that's kind of neat if you play the board game or if you're doing like a little scenery where you put all your miniatures. So that's pretty cool. But beside that, yeah. So this one you'll see it's basically just monsters and a boss, and we'll see what it looks like. All right. So let's open this. So first thing first, of course, we got the little pamphlet that's just giving more scenario for the campaign of the board game. We got a picture of those miniatures that we're going to take a look at. Let's move this to the side. All right, let's move this too. And now let's remove again that tape. I hate that tape. There, one gone. Second one gone. One. And finally, fourth one. There we go. We'll just move that to the side. Maybe remove the whole thing. It's gonna be easier. Yeah, there we go. And since now we got everything out of the way, we'll open that beautiful lamp. So who do we start with? Do we start with one of the bottom or the one on top? Let's start with the bottom. So those are the Alone Sword Knight. So they're basically from the expansion Ironclad from the game, right? As such, the sword is not too crooked, just a bit between the hilt and the sword itself, like if it's bent, but it's not the end of the world, it's not that bad. We got that mold line. We got that mold line that starts from the top and seems to cross behind the arm, but it goes right under right there. So that's a bit of a tricky one to scratch off, but yeah, we'll see. Wait, I'll just try to adjust the light. There we go. Beside that, details aren't too bad. We got those little bump in the back. Not really sure what they're supposed to represent, but they're there. The ridges are not too high, but not too bad. The bottom of the skirt of the armor is really good, well detailed. The chainmail too, so that's not bad. I love the fact that he still has the holster of the sword in his hand, so that's pretty neat. We got a huge mold line to be trim right there. Don't know if you see that. It's really awfully transparent, so that need to be trim, at least to give it a shape. And same thing on this side. So it's not a bad design. It's just you'll need to shape it to bring it back to a normal kind of shape. Same thing on this side, as you can see. And we got that little hole right on top. So yeah, it's not that bad. For now, it's actually better than the expansion for the Ghost and the Invaders. So that's not bad. Beside that, it looks pretty neat, pretty straight. Posture is fine. Helmet got really small details. So that one's going to be hard to really play with. Those grooves are really tiny. But yeah, that one is basically just a line, like a scratch. So yeah, that's going to be tricky. So that's not bad. So for the Sword Knights, I guess we can do something. Just the face, we have to be careful, and a bit of trimming. And again, we got this problem on that pauldron right there. You can see that little tip of plastic. So that need to be clean. Same thing on that side. That need to be clean again. Mould line, again, cutting across, going down there. Going down there. So yeah, on both sides. So not bad. Sword is a bit more straight. Just a bit of cleaning. We still got a little part of plastic that needs to be trimmed on top. But beside that, it's still pretty good. Seems to be less bend than all the others that I met till now. This one is not that bad. Sword isn't too bad. Bit crooked to the side, but not too much. Mould line again. Pauldron here looks in better shape. Beside that, we still got that hole right on top right there that needs to be clean. So yeah, a few defects, but it's not the end of the world. They're not so bad. So who's gonna be next? Do we start with the Knight Captain? So the Alone Knight Captains. They look pretty sweet. Nice posture. Really love the movement that is being represented. It's really a full extension. We got a bit of design on the pauldron, as you can see, and it's not bad. It's a bit faded to the extremities of the pauldron, like in those corners. So it's barely visible as a detail, but the centerpiece is really well highlighted. Can I focus again? So that's not so bad. So we can actually do something with this one. So the design is good. Love the bit of damage on the armor. The top of the helmet is kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's because the way it connects when they mold it, but that may need to be shaped again. It's all like dented sideways. So yeah. Second pauldron, same thing. Middle part really high rise. When you get to the side, it seems that the design is molding with the pauldron itself. So yeah, you'll need to be careful on that. The face got a bit more details on this one. It's a lot more deep, so it's going to be easier to work with. So that's actually not bad. And now you can see all the lines of that back of the chest piece for his back. Got really beautiful, well-divided lines. So that's going to be easier to paint. So that's not bad. We got that little towel that seems to be covering in this back. So yeah, really love the knight. Actually, really like this. I just hope that the design would have been a bit more, how can I say that, more defined with higher ridges to the side. But yeah, that's what it is. Beside that, it's not bad. We got a small mold line. It's barely visible, bit of work here and there. And when I look on the other side, same thing. Really just a smaller mold line. So the Knight Captains are not bad at all. I'll just go do a quick overview of the next one. Again, not so bad. Sword is not bended. The helmet on this one is actually well shaped, and you can actually see the design that the helmet is supposed to have. So that's actually pretty cool. So I kind of like that. So here it's well done, well molded, not too hard, good definition, and we can see all the design for the face itself. So that's not bad. That's actually really not bad. Mould line again. So we'll just look back at the first one. Look at the difference for the top of the helmet. See the difference? It's like if he's missing actually the tip of his helmet compared to this one. So weird. But yeah, at least we got one that's actually well shaped. So better than nothing. This one seems in good shape too. Oop. So it's not that bad. We got something here. If I... Oh. Still having a hard time to focus with this camera. There we go. Good looking model. Again, small mold line right here. Can see it just a bit on the leg. So it's not that bad. The definition of the pauldron, like I said the last time, we got that blending between the pauldron and the logo. So it's not as high rise as the middle part of the design, but, and same thing on the back, see. So that's a bit sad, but it's not the end of the world. You could actually like play with this and still make something really cute and really cool. I said cute, wow. So yeah, so that was the Knight Captain. Actually, I really like the design of the Knight Captain. Compared to the Sword Knight. Sword Knight is more like somebody or an enemy just trotting about, right? He's just like pacing himself and taking his time. And I feel that the Knight Captain is actually really ready for the battle and he's prepared to fight. So that I really like that positioning. It's really cool. We'll finish with the well, no, we still got the other side. Now we got the alone bow knight for the archers. No, bow knights. And right now the bow is a bit crooked, but it's not that bad. As you can see on this side, it's a bit more crooked, but barely visible from the front. So that's actually really not bad. I love the fact that the sword is still there. This is this for me is sweet. Smaller details like this really makes for me a big difference on a model. You don't need all kind of design and pouches and everything. Just give him the proper weapons, a proper position, a proper standing, and really that will make a big difference. Right now the helmet, check the helmet. It's not that bad. We got a bit of detail. The line for the eyes, it's a bit deeper than the first one that we saw for the Sword Knight. So actually I appreciate that. We got that weird line, that cross on his chest. Not sure if it's a mold line or actually just a design choice. I think it's a design choice, but yeah, okay. I guess I could do something with that. For the mold line, as you can see, we got again that line that follows right there. It's not too pronounced, so it's not bad, but we got that little problem right there. See, that's one of the holes where they inject. So that's not fun, but beside that, the back of the chest is really well done. Skirt too, the chainmail is beautiful. The holster, well, the sword itself seems really straight, so it's not that bad. It's actually a nice design for an archer. For the size, it's actually really decent. I would have hoped to get this type of detail with the Ghost expansion, right? The Invader expansion. I know the character expansion got a few that are good, but this is really a good standard that I wish I would have get in the Ghost too. On this one, the bow is still not that bad. Not that bad crooked. Maybe just a bit there, but really barely visible. That sword got actually a really well. I really love the shape of it. It feels more like a katana, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a katana, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to curve like that. I would have to play back the game and really look at it. Beside that, helmet is still good. Arms positioning, good too. Really, it is pretty good looking. Yep, I really love this one. I feel that the three of them looks really decent. And the last one, again, a bit crooked on the side, but it's not the end of the world. Mould line again, little defect right there. Again, the same place. I don't know if you can actually see that. Same injection spot. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Really love those bow knights. So now we'll do the Ironclad, and after that we'll do like the mini boss and boss. Alright, don't forget the Crystal Lizard, but yeah. So, the Ironclad Soldiers. Those massive mace. Looks pretty decent. Good details. Seems to be really well done. Few scratches over the top of that shell. All the bolts are really well done. Really high rise. We got those belt in the back that's holding the front of the armor for the legs. So that is pretty sweet. I love that little detail. That is pretty sweet. And we got the same on the other side. Beside that, knee pads, footwork seems good too. The weapon is well designed. We got a lot of details here and there in between the ends. So that's kind of cool. The helmet is a bit basic, but at the same time, we got enough detail to work with. The bolt pattern or the rivet patterns seems fine, but there's 4 of them really hard to see on the horizontal right there, and they're really tiny. So those are kind of missing. So wish they were done better than that, but it's not the end of the world. Beside that, all the other rivets are really well done on the armor. So it's a well balanced design, to be honest. It's bulky, but at the same time, not too much information being thrown at you. We got a small mold line going across right there. Let's see if I can actually, you can see that mold line going across right there and around here. So that's one's going to be tricky because I realized the mold line is actually not really the problem. The piece of armor is actually not straight, it's a bit off. So when you look at it, you can actually see that they're not really straight. So yeah, they'll need to be worked on. And on this side it's less bad. We can actually see the mold line, and it's not that bad. So pretty cool, really good design. I wish they would have done maybe some design over the top of the maze, but it's fine, right? You kind of look it from the side or a bit on an angle, so yeah, you could do some kind of reflect in the middle of it, and that would fit properly. So let's just check the 2 others. Same thing for the mold line. Pretty much the same. Again, it's a bit off around the mold line on that leg. So you'll need to trim that leg a bit, that piece of armor on the leg, to make it straight. But beside that, really straight, no problem whatsoever. On the last one, we'll just do a quick turn, mold line on the leg. Beside that, nothing seems to attract my attention. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Ironclad Soldiers. So now what do we do? Crystal Lizard? Yeah, we'll do Crystal Lizards. So, don't know if they're gonna try drop anything if you kill them, but they're pretty neat. Really, really tiny. Got enough detail to work with. And that central diamond or titanite, I'm not really sure what it's supposed to represent. You can make it another color and it's gonna be perfect. But if I remember, those are supposed to have highs on the side, and I don't really see where the eyes could go. So I guess you'll just have to ignore the fact that they actually have highs, or just try to put some somewhere. But beside that, yeah, decent. It's a nice little add-on to your collection, I guess, for Dark Soul, if you really love Dark Soul. For now, just the enemies. If you want to make a display, those actually, for me, have a good standard. They're really well done. Not too much defect, not too much problem. I know the Sword Knights got a little problem with the Pauldron, like I was explaining, just over the top right there. But beside that Pauldron problem, they are not bad at all. So yeah, it's decent. I wouldn't pay the full price for it, but it's decent. Now we'll do Sir Alone. So Sir Alone is the mini boss. We'll just turn him around. For now, I don't have much to say beside he is really well done. Good amount of details. The details are deep enough for you to actually do a decent job. It's not that bad. We got a little mold line on the elbow, but again, not the end of the world. The sword is really straight, no problem with this. I rarely see that they have problems with mini boss and bosses, but yeah. Pauldron on this side, the face is actually well visible. Let's see. I don't know if you can actually really see that. So we got that little type of face on the Pauldron. It is really well done. We got the beautiful straps in the back holding all the armor together. We got those we got those scales instead of having chainmail. Got those scales, metal scales that protects his armor. Beside that, really good looking. The boots actually are well designed. The helmet got enough details for you to work with, but we nearly feel like so weird. It feels like a mold line in the middle of his face. I'm not too sure. It really looks like a mold line. So that may need to be trimmed to make it look a bit better. But beside that, everything is perfect. And it's kind of cool because he's actually standing in the middle of the line and they kind of cut it off to make him fit instead of placing the enemy around or over the top of those lines. So that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, Sir Alone, really good looking model. It's a perfect for display, at least for me. So now we'll finish with the demon, the smelter demon. And he's a bit heavy. And the first thing I realize is the sword is crooked. So if I look on this side, maybe like this, the sword is crooked. And it should be bring back like this, but that's what it is. So the first thing I see, it's all the details in the sword. That is pretty sweet, well detailed. Got the nice hand holding it, really basic for the handle. as for a demon holding a major sword like this. Really good looking. I would do like lava line or something like a bright orange with somewhat a dark red in the back, really to make it pop. The face is pretty decent, well designed. The horns got enough detail, not too much, enough for you to make a bit of highlight here and there. Pauldrons are fine, same thing on this side with a small horn added to it. So again, really beautiful model. The center chest piece, that is the mouth, is actually really cool. All the teeth goes all around it. So that is pretty nice. They didn't skip any part of it. You just make it go all around, and we got that beautiful spine in the middle. So you could play really with that bright fire coming from his stomach. So that's pretty cool. The legs again are well designed. And we got some scratch or cracks in the rocks making his leg. So that's actually pretty cool too. The feet are actually not super designed, but good enough. Good deepness for the details and etc. It's really heavy. The more I'm molding it, the more I realize he got more weight. So I'm pretty sure he's kind of full. Beside that, maybe the only thing is if you grab it sideways like this, you can actually glue the spine to the torso, but it's not bad. And we got that small hole right there. I wonder if I can actually turn him. No, beside this angle, we can't really see it. But we got that small hole right there. See it? Right there. So, I guess once painted, it's not going to show up that much. Just be careful if you put some orange inside of there not to highlight that hole. But beside that, really beautiful design. Really nice. Like I said, it's not the first one I would buy, but if you ask me for one with the best quality, it would be the Dark Souls board game first. After that, if it's something about quality and design, I would go with the Iron Key. But if I wanted more miniatures that are looking good and not really just for the details, I would go for the character expansion. And beside really specific invaders or ghosts, I would skip the ghost expansion or the invaders expansion. It's not the NPCs are not good looking; they're kind of good looking but for the amount of miniatures you get in it, I think you get a bit more bangs for your buck if you want to make a beautiful display with this one. If it's really for playing the game, of course, the DLCs and the NPCs are pretty cool to join in the board game. But yeah, that's just a little something you have to keep in mind. So this is going to be all for today. The last one I will do is the Explorer expansion, and that will come up pretty soon. Yeah, pretty sure I'll do that. Maybe tomorrow or in a few days. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy, and see you around.